Pacelli and Boomer, they're grizzled and gray, talking about Star Wars from back in the day. Got a talk show called Geeky Geezers, it's true, spinning old tales about the stuff they went through. From Atari to Trek, they know every line. Geeky Geezers, man, they're feeling just fine. Late Savvy's got a lightsaber, swings it with pride. Boomer's got a game, but plays it deep in the night. They're ranting about He-Man and old X-Men too. On Geeky Geezers, they're the nerdiest crew. Talking Transformers toys, they twist and they turn. Singing blues for the geek life, their hearts still burn. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream. Talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're sitting in the studio, mics turned up loud, reminiscing about Super Friends, feeling so proud. Pacelli loves Spider-Man, Boomer's for hope. They argue about Star Trek with passion and both. From Betamax tapes to their old D20s, Geeky Geezers where the nostalgia flows. They got fans in the chat, from the young to the old, tuning in to hear stories that never get cold. Talking Ghostbusters, Proton Packs, Toys in the Box, and Saturday mornings with cartoons that rocks. Pacelli and Boomer, they're keeping it real. Geeky Geezers with that old school feel. Oh, Geeky Geezers, they're living the dream. Talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky Geezers with hearts made of gold. They're singing the blues for the games that they play, for the VHS tapes and the arcades that pray. But the spirits are young, though their hair's turning white. Geeky Geezers keep the nerd fire alight, so tune in each week to the Geeky Geezers show, where Pacelli and Boomer let the good times flow. From X-Files to X-Men, they're dropping the news, singing praises of geek life with them old blues. Pacelli and Boomer, forever they'll be. Geeky Geezers living wild and free.
Hello everyone, welcome to Geeky Geezers of this date of Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, where there are no flying cars, but maybe that's just as well. They'd probably be falling out of the sky, right? So
absolutely true. Absolutely true.
This is my co-host, Pacelli.
Yeah, we rocked so hard with that intro tune. I am just exhausted now, so let's wrap this up.
Yes, and with us is Netter of Netters Network, who I sometimes refer to as the Geezette, if that's not offensive. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's gendered language, right? I just point of personal privilege. I'm sorry. I'll stop all that. Hi.
Let's face it. Netter is good with her gender. She's good with my gender. We, opposites attract, so to speak. So, any and out. Oh, that's probably going a bit far with it.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm proud to be a Geezette.
Yeah.
Yes. So here we are after Halloween, November, and I always thought like in the past, like fall is when stuff is happening. All sorts of cool stuff is happening. You're in fall sweeps with TV. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, fall sweeps with TV.
I was just going to say, I don't know that there's still TV things happening these days.
Might be a topic for a Friday sometime. What happened to TV? What happened to TV? I know what happened. Bull went off the air, and that was it for me.
Well, yeah.
It had a not great final season because they got rid of the showrunner, who was the guy who was behind Moonlighting. I guess he was too mean, and they got rid of him. You know what? He knew how to write, so I don't care.
But I do feel like there's a show to be done there. I mean, I'm going to reach out to Dan Monroe and see if he would help us out with an intro. So, whatever happened to network television?
I don't know. But here we are, I guess I should say hi to the chat.
Say hi to the chat. Hi, chat.
We were talking. We were complaining again about daylight savings time before the stream began. If you're wondering what our in media res conversation was.
Yeah, and look, it doesn't matter that we got an extra hour. I'm still exhausted. It does not. It's not a good thing. I don't care what side of the year you're on.
Lady Mist, welcome.
Dropping the blue emojis to encourage Netter. Thank you so much.
And Big Al, welcome. Hello, geezers. Have a great show. Wishing everyone a happy and safe week ahead. Yes, well, we
That's
do.
very sweet of you. Thank you.
Thanksgiving's coming late this year.
I think it's landing. It's arriving right on time, isn't it? It's on
It
a.
is, but it's at the end of the month.
It's always the end of the month. It's
Well,
like
sometimes it's like the
20
second to last weekend of the month. I don't know. Isn't it?
whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll just have to wait an extra week for Black Friday, the true holiday that we
gosh.
Americans celebrate. Welcome, Connie Cleary. Always good to see you.
No, because now we celebrate Cyber Monday.
We should talk about Black Friday. A Friday stream sometime. Like, see if we can locate Black Friday horror stories. Of course, I guess that's what the movie Thanksgiving was about, a Black Friday.
True.
Tree Rock Creations, welcome. Because everybody's got to get their stuff. I don't think it's what it was, Black Friday. I think there was a while where the country went nuts. Maybe that's one of the good things about our modern age, that Black Friday is not as insane as it used to be, right?
I really feel like the outlet stores, the brick and mortars, the people that work there don't understand their jobs are really freaking going away. And they're all going to Amazon and other online outlets.
Zootopia, welcome. Yeah, Amazon, who shut the internet down a couple weeks ago. Anyway, Deep Pensac, welcome. Here to support.
Amazon, who just lost another what do you call it? Antitrust lawsuit. So
interesting.
They just keep losing the antitrust lawsuits. So maybe they'll break them up. We'll
see. Deleted scenes, welcome. He had an interesting chat. It was searching for Roger Ebert, which I assume was that a take on searching for Bobby Fischer? Was that the name of the movie or the book or something?
Someone did a search. Oh no, that was a movie called.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Okay, for some reason Bobby Fischer, the chess expert, right? I don't know.
Bobby Fischer was the chess expert. Yes.
OUTLAW, yes. Welcome, and yeah, I remember we did a Friday stream that was all about the album Chess.
It was all about what? You fizzed out on us.
The album Chess.
Oh yes. Oh God, I love that musical. I really do.
Boomer and Troy, what's up, fellow old farts? I don't know, man. I here's what happened with me. I was reflecting back, and every so often I'll put on a rerun of the X-Files, and I'm like, wow, I really do miss the X-Files. And then something dawned on me. It's not the X-Files that I miss. It's television. It's regular television I look forward to. I don't talk about this much, but I think in comparison to all my other hobbies, I think one that I spent a lot of time on in my life were the weekly television shows. And I think the pandemic kind of messed those up. And no, it wasn't even it was streaming. I think streaming brought an end to it because I think Bull was one of the last ones I was keeping up with regularly. CSI Vegas, I assume that was a network show because I don't know because we had already gotten moved over to stream at that point. And CSI Vegas went off the air, which annoyed me because that was actually one of the few revivals I actually liked, where they did a revival of an old show and they made it work and it was good. And then they yanked it and we got nothing because it's fine. But let's see. Trio Creations, welcome. Okay, and I guess here we are. I guess we're going to talk about the good old days. You want to rig the presentation up?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I have to do that, don't I? Give me a second here. That's where's the button? Bring up the presentation. Here we go.
Look at this. Geeky Geezers. And we always talk about the good old days, right? And I think this one's long overdue. And by long overdue, I mean Terminator T2. Terminator 2.
Monetized now.
I don't know, man. Maybe. You never know that little... This was a huge summer blockbuster when this came out. I believe this was summer of 92. And there was a lot of hype building up to this. I don't think I had seen the Terminator yet in my life, but I rented the video so I could be caught up before the sequel came out because I was a big Arnold fan, obviously. And, I remember that the advertising campaign was like, this time there's 2, Terminator 2. And I'm like, oh, okay, what do they mean? Hasta la vista, baby. Yes, Big Al. Do you remember when this was coming out?
I do. I absolutely do. I I really enjoyed the first one. I kind of was okay. So you can't talk about this without talking about the fact that in the first, okay, we have to talk about spoilers, but we're talking about spoilers for a movie that I'm pretty sure
Tune out if you
that
don't want to be spoiled for Terminator.
99% of the people listening have already seen this movie multiple times.
Well, to be fair, I feel that the advertising campaign for this movie sort of spoiled the movie itself. A big surprise in the sequel. But go ahead.
I was coming up to that.
Yeah.
So I had seen the first movie, and I liked it. And when I heard there was going to be a sequel, look, this whole idea of doing sequels to movies is not new. They've been doing it for a very long time, and you've gotten conditioned to expect it to just be rehashing what happened in the first one. They're just going to do it bigger and flashier and whatever, right? And so, like I said, I liked the first movie, so yeah, I'll go check out the second one. But by this time, Arnold Schwarzenegger was now becoming a bigger name.
He was huge at this point. Yes.
Yeah, and he wasn't so much during the first one. So it's like, is he going back to playing the baddie again? That doesn't seem appropriate now. You'd think, and then you're absolutely right, Boomer. I saw some of the trailers for it, and I'm like, oh, okay. They're doing something different with him to have him now be the hero, you know.
And yes, and of course I've made the argument, well, of course in the future the Terminators wouldn't look alike because it would be all, the idea was they're supposed to look like random humans, so they sent them into the camps, but the dogs could sniff them out. And of course one of them looks like Arnold here, and the thing is, but you know what, who cares? We want to see Arnold again. That's why.
Lynn Green makes a great point. I still want the real director's cut of Terminator 2 with the real ending, the one that means there can't be any of the crap movies that came after. I agree with you. There did not need to be a sequel to the first movie, but if there was going to be a sequel, the second one was fine. Let it be done.
Now,
You know?
I will say there are there was the potential sequel to this movie, of course, in the Sarah Connor Chronicles TV show, which I thought was rather good.
It was. I loved it.
There's also Terminator 3, which I'm not as much of a hater as other people. I did rewatch it a couple years ago, realized this is a competent action movie. I don't think it's as good as the first two, but there's still things in it I liked. But I get why people say, well, isn't it kind of redundant at this point? Just have Terminator 1 and 2. I did like how in 3, though, it's actually taking place on Judgment Day. Like, they don't realize, oh, wait, this is Judgment Day. And you actually get to see precursors to this type of machines that you saw in Terminator 2, the futuristic machines. Like, you saw, like, drone versions of those in this movie. So it was kind of seeing Skynet come alive for the first time. Again, I get why people don't like Terminator 3. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just saying I didn't hate it as much as everybody else. But anyway.
No, yeah. And you say, you know, there were things that you liked about it, and I know what things you liked about it. You liked what was in the TX's blouse, the way they grew. Yeah, those were the things.
I mean, that's the thing. But again, like, they wouldn't do that in a movie now. Like when she says, "Okay, how do I get what I want as a female Terminator or something?" She says, "Oh, okay, just make my boobs bigger." Remember that? It was the thing. But no, anyway, I don't know why we're talking about Terminator 3. We're here to talk about Terminator 2.
Right.
And Terminator 2, this was a huge deal when it came out. And it still holds up really well. I was watching it a couple weeks ago, and it starts out in the future. You have Sarah Connor narrating, talking about Judgment Day when the nukes fall because a Skynet becomes self-aware, and then it just, or self-actual, whatever they call it, just triggers a nuclear war between the United States and Russia, and then the machines come and take over, and you see the unskinned version of the Terminator robots crushing a skull, and then suddenly it's the whole sequence in the future of the humans fighting the resistance against the horrible Skynet computer and its machines, and then you see a soldier sort of leading them in the background, and people are saluting him, and it's John Connor, the child that hadn't been born yet in the original Terminator movie. And one thing about Terminator movies is there's always this weird loop, like, he time travels and sends a soldier back to protect his mom, but then it turns out that soldier is going to end up being his father, right? So, And it's this whole thing, like, but then there's also other causal loops, like in this movie, like this computer company discovers the remains of the crushed Terminator robot from the first one, and that gives them ideas of how to expand technology
Yeah.
in ways they wouldn't have thought of. And again, is that now another one of these weird loops where would Skynet appear if not for the time travel interference? And is the future changed? Like, what was the future? Is their future now changed because of their interference in the past? I don't know. It's a head
And
scrambler, but
see,
that's what they think.
there are a ton of theory videos out there on YouTube talking about that. So what you're referring to is something called the bootstrap paradox. This idea that if okay, for example, you have John Connor who sends his father back in time to be his father, right?
Yes.
How was he born in the first place in order for his
Yes.
to be there to send his father back in time? By the same token, did I just say Tolkien?
Yes, it's okay.
Same token.
Skynet versus Sauron, who would win?
I know,
go
right?
ahead. All right. Okay, go ahead.
By the same token, would you even have Skynet if Skynet didn't exist to send Terminators back in time to try to wipe out John Connor? It breaks causality, and I've been doing you. I think a lot of people that have followed these
Yes.
This channel for a long time know that I'm big on time travel stories, good time travel stories, which leads me to get into real, space time, physics. And no matter how you look at it, you cannot break causality. It looks like, regardless of the maths that say, well, it should be theoretically possible for time travel to exist, yes, but you can never break causality. And sometimes these stories do tend to break causality, which is why one of the theories about the Terminator franchise is that there was a prime timeline that still resulted in the formation of Skynet, and
Yes.
John Connor was still the hero.
Yes.
And all of that happening. It would have been neat to explore that, to have seen that, which they absolutely could have done in the third movie, but I don't know. I don't know.
That was the promise, and then we get the Christian Bale movie, and
God, I'm telling you.
Which, and the idea was they were originally promising we do the pre-war trilogy, then we're going to do the post-war trilogy of it existing in the aftermath of the Machines Wars, and it's all going to be about John Connor's rise to be military leader, which would have been fine, but we didn't.
I do have to ask this question about that Genesis.
No, stupid. It was stupid, but other than that,
but I do have to ask this question. Can
Yes.
you please explain to me why John Connors sounds like Batman? He sounds like Batman.
No,
it's not necessary.
No, you're thinking of the Christian Bale one, right?
Yes.
That wasn't the one who played John Connor in Genesis. Genesis came after that one. What the heck was the fourth one? Terminator Salvation, I think that's what it was called, right?
Oh, that was the one.
And I wanted to,
because he was still talking. It's like Christian Bale. You're not playing Batman. You don't have to sound like Batman. But
that's his tough guy.
All movies sounding like this.
It's his tough guy voice.
I guess so.
It's his tough guy voice. Anyway.
No, Darth Plato's absolutely right. Terminator is better than Terminator 2.
It's fine. It's fine.
And I would even argue that at least a part of the reason for that is, again, the budget. I honestly think the more you compress the budget, the smaller your budget is, the more you have to be thoughtful and clever to do a good movie. And you get lazy when you have a bigger budget.
Let's see. Tree Recreations made a point that he wasn't allowed to watch the R-rated trailers when he was a kid, so he didn't see the Now There Are Two Terminators. Here's the thing. I remember seeing that trailer in a movie theater, and it was a cool trailer how it showed like something being constructed, like a machine or something, and then suddenly, suddenly you see it's Arnold says, "This time there are two, Terminator 2." And at this point, Arnold was at this point probably at his zenith, if not now, or just on the cusp, because he had Total Recall a year prior, and that was a big hit too. And so we we have this time there are two Terminator 2, and I kind of wish I didn't know about the T-1000, because when this movie starts out, it's another time travel. Like Sarah Connor says, one would be sent to that basically a Terminator was sent to kill John, and a Protector was also sent when he was a young boy. Okay, I guess he's like 10 or 11 in this, right? And
Yeah.
the the first you see Arnold show up and tear up a bar, you know,
Yeah.
right? And just yeah, there's the, by the way, that's from the Future War sequence. That was really
Yep.
cool. Even though we don't
Yep,
see a ton of it, I think we see just enough to
I
whet our
agree.
appetites on that.
And I'll tell you
yeah.
what, this is another one of those movies where the behind the scenes is as interesting and exciting as the movie itself. When you see how they did the Future War stuff, and you know that there was different scales of those Terminators,
Yep.
and forced perspective and stop motion animation and actual puppetry, it's like, my goodness, you know, what a great job they did.
This was an effects masterpiece at the time, because in some ways it was the bridge movie between a lot of the modern computer effects we get now, but also the traditional
True.
effects. Was Industrial Light and Magic involved in this? It wouldn't surprise me if they were.
I have no idea.
But whoever did it did a great job. And let me see. So yeah, here we have Arnold, and of course he shows up, and he goes into this really tough biker bar, right? And he goes up to this guy who's his approximate size, and says, "I need your shoes, your clothes, and your bike." And the guy says, "Why don't you just say please?" And then he shoves his cigar into his chest, and then so Arnold just starts beating everybody in the bar up.
Yeah.
And of course
yeah.
they try fighting him, and he gets out of there like, "Oh, here's the killer, the Terminator back," right? And then you see Robert Patrick show up, and you know, it looks like he punches out a cop, but then he takes on the cop thing. Oh, I figured this is the Kyle Reese guy again, right?
Right.
No, that's not what's going on here. This big spoiler, this is a Terminator that was reprogrammed by future John Connor to go protect his younger self, whereas the other guy is another Terminator, a kind of Terminator we've never seen before, which is a liquid metal Terminator that can shapeshift into anything it wants to, or any person, and it can make knives come out of its fingers and all sorts of things.
Right. And you have John Connor, who is a little emotionally messed up, right? Because he spent
a screwed up childhood.
He spent his formative years with his mom, telling him he's going to be, you know, a big freedom fighter. He's got
military
to learn.
Leader. Yes.
She takes him down to Mexico to learn, you know, guerrilla warfare and you know, managing people and weapons
hacking
and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
He knows how. He has some hacking skills too. He for a kid, he knows a lot of this like survival type stuff that you would need, I guess, in a dark dystopian, you know, apocalyptic future with machines, right?
Unfortunately, well, sure, you know your enemy, right?
Yes.
But one of the things that happens in between movies is that Sarah Connor ends up being institutionalized.
Yes.
And John ends up in the foster care program because you can understand why people would think that she's delusional.
It even has
you got this psychiatrist who's like, you know, and honestly, unlike, I mean, he does follow the trope of psychiatrists in movies like this, right? Where you're an idiot, you are wrong, you are not listening, and you should end up dead, just like everyone's going to end up dead. But the reality is, his logic is 100% sound based on the evidence he sees, right? He does listen, but there is nothing in what she says to convince him that, you know, he should take her seriously. But
and he was the psychiatrist from the original movie too.
Yes, he was. I love that verisimilitude. So that he does show up in the second one.
Yes.
And he sees the evidence this time. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Well, what's funny about the original was he leaves the police station as Arnold goes into it, and like he missed out on that whole like massacre when Arnold starts killing all the cops to get to Sarah Connor, right? So it was
right. So there's no evidence that he sees. And when you find out, okay, this big, guy was violent and tore up things happen like that in real life.
Yeah.
Nothing has to have. He doesn't have to be an android for it to happen, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you have
Welcome, Andrea Black. Good to see you.
So you have Robert Patrick as
He was so young. Oh my gosh, he was so young.
Yes, and he looks like a model police officer here. This was brilliant on the machine's part. Let's look like a police officer, a figure of authority that people have to listen to. Think about it. That was actually pretty clever to do that, So he could just go around doing his investigations, and people will just give him all the information that he wants because, he's a police officer. I'm looking for John Connor. And, of course, when him and Arnold first fight, it's brilliant because he's not like a big muscly guy.
Yeah.
He's more leaner. I think the Cameron made a point. He's more cat-like. So when they're fighting, he's more like a snake type character rather than a bear. You know what I mean? So it's interesting seeing these two fight in the fight scenes. And
and something else from the behind the scenes. I kind of wish Sin was here. These are definitely her movies,
right?
But my understanding was that there's a scene where he is running after the truck.
Yes.
Car or whatever.
Yes, he does a lot of that, and he can run
and
fast
he's
too.
doing and he trained in track or whatever, running style.
Yeah.
You can see it in the way that he runs.
He's fast in this movie. He
the
can run,
most efficient way to, and it's not like he's got a background in this or anything. He learned for this movie, and he did it so well that you have to understand those kind of kinetic scenes where you have somebody running, you have a car that's moving. That means you have the camera on a dolly moving, and you have to time it all. He was running so fast. He'd be like, we need to slow you down a little bit. We need to slow you down a little bit because you're catching up to the car, and we don't want you to catch up to the car.
Because it would ruin, because of course the car is not going as fast as we think it is in the audience. Yeah.
Exactly.
But this is brilliant action scenes. When I was growing up, the big type of movie before we had the superhero movie, of course, was the action movie. And action movies would have action scenes. I mean, that's why you would go to, that was one of the big draws. And this has a few set pieces that are brilliant in it, like the original truck chase. And of course, if you shoot the T-1000, he gets a hole in him and it seals right back up because he's liquid metal. It's almost like shooting into, silly putty, maybe? I'm trying to think what
Well, yeah. But here's the other thing, too. Decentralized central processing unit. So shooting him in the head doesn't really make a difference.
No, he does get damaged later in the movie when he gets frozen with the nitroglycerin, and then when he gets put back together, he's still not quite perfect like he was. Like he glitches a little bit. I noticed that, which I thought was interesting.
Which is an interesting thing they touch back on in Terminator 3, where you find out that the TX still uses an endoskeleton like the T-1000, but then has like
liquid metal
exterior that's made from the liquid metal, so she can change form and grow larger breasts, apparently.
It's interesting. Skynet was probably working on newer and newer models, like the way in wartime you work on better and better vehicles and weapons, right? So that's probably what this is all about, and it's sending them at different points.
And deleted scenes also points out, yes, mimetic polyalloy, which when you start getting into that last one with Khaleesi, Sarah Connor, they start digging into real world technology, so they start talking about nanotechnology and so forth, which makes absolute sense. So going back to something that Lynn was talking about earlier about, the chronologies don't line up. They could, with just little writing elements, if they thought it through, which tells you they weren't doing enough thinking in 4 dimensions. But if they had just had a line that said, the timeline is always updating because Skynet can send information back to itself in the past.
I hated Genesis for a whole host of reasons.
I agree with you.
John Connor's the villain, He gets down to be the villain, which I hate it when they do that. And then they did this stupid thing where Skynet was going to be a phone app or something.
Yeah.
To make it modernized. This is stupid. And I mean, I did kind of like Matt Smith as like a physical embodiment of Skynet. I kind of thought that was interesting because I.
But the whole problem was not only making John Connor the villain, but also the casting was just terrible.
Awful.
Nobody looked like the characters that they were portraying. I thought that they could have gotten away with what's her name as Sarah Connor if they had put her on friggin' stilts. I mean, because she's so damn short.
And the actor playing Kyle Reese, who we know, the actor who played Sam Flynn in Tron, he'd really bulked up, and I'm like, no, Kyle Reese is not supposed to be that bulky. He's supposed to be kind of, I don't want to say emaciated.
He had the wrong hair, the wrong face.
He's from this future where humanity's trying to survive. He's not gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna say he was in bad shape, but he was not like. You can't put the muscle on in the future like that because of the
exactly.
war. I mean, it's like
lean and mean, not not bulky,
exactly like old fashioned soldiers, not like I don't know. Let's move on though. Of course, T-1000 can go through the bars. This is when this is the scene where the psychologist sees him and like freaks out because he realizes, oh, she's been telling me the truth all this time or something, right? So, Sarah Connor. I can see why people think she's nuts in the institution because she's very harsh. Think about it. If you knew for certain the world was going to end and millions of people were going to die,
can
it
you
might
back up
a
second?
Yes.
To the to that scene.
Yes.
That scene was cutting edge CG. The guys from Corridor Crew broke down this scene and then tried to reproduce it using modern technology,
right?
And they were like, you guys don't even understand how difficult what they did, and that they just point out little things like just resistance and the more the technology for CG back then, they didn't have the processing speed that we do now.
No.
And little elements like he's able to go through, but then he gets stopped by the gun because he's carrying it sideways. Little elements like that, so well thought out,
I hate to say this. It's like how some people complain about modern CG, how it looks kind of hackneyed now, whereas when it was starting out, I think they were trying to push the envelope effects-wise, And to be fair, we still have movies with good CG. Ironically, Battle Angelita, which was another Cameron, at least Cameron produced that. That had good CG.
We were just looking at Gladiator yesterday, and I was pointing out how many of the background shots are composites between physical locations and CG, being used the same way that matte paintings used to be. Difference being, with matte paintings, they were static. Whereas you could look up at the top of the Coliseum and you could see a flock of birds fly by and waving banners. And they also, have a stand-in playing Oliver Reed's role in the last few scenes because the actor had died.
Yes.
And the CG was so good, I said the only way you could tell is A, that it's, a CG scene to begin with, and B, the lighting is just slightly off. Just enough that you'd go, the lighting's weird in this scene. But you wouldn't have thought it wasn't Oliver Reed because it was that good,
Yeah, when Big L mentioned it, or maybe it was deleted, I was like, that was CG.
Yeah.
Because it was that good.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see. Back then they used CGI as a tool. Today they use it today like crutches, I guess. Yeah, it can be a crutch. That's the problem. Right. Connie Cleary posted a scene of Linda Hamilton and her twin sister. Oh, I guess
right. So I was getting to that. That was a scene where it was cut from the original theatrical release, but it was so crucial. This whole scene where they sit Arnold down, they take off the back of his head, take out his CPU and flip a switch so that he can learn. He's gonna take lessons, but so he can be autonomous. And there's this moment where you see Sarah thinking about smashing it.
Yes.
Like,
John's like, no.
yeah, this is, kind of like CG. It's a tool. We need to use it, right?
Yes.
And what's so fascinating is there's such a payoff for that scene later on when the Terminator insists, I have to be destroyed because blah 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 blah. And this is a choice he has made now. This is no longer I am just fulfilling my program.
No, he is saying
This is me
this has to
actually
happen.
sacrificing myself for the greater good, sort of thing. Not only that, but the way that is shot with Arnold and see, I don't remember who is on which side of the camera. The foreground is an animatronic or a fake head of Arnold, because they literally have to open up the back of it, stick something in, take something out. On the other side is the real Arnold, and the two Sarahs are Linda Hamilton and her sister. And they have to exactly mirror each other, and it looks perfect. It looks brilliant.
Yeah, I've seen that in the because the special edition I have that cut as well as the theatrical. Yeah, and it's I get why they cut that scene because it makes the movie a bit longer. But I think for home video, I think that was good that they put that back in there as an option to watch. Yeah.
And you literally have the option to watch either version,
which is all we ask for. Give us choice. But and of course there's almost a friendship. It's like I think even Siskel reviewed this. It's almost like a reverse parent role, where Edward Furlong is trying to teach him how to be human. How to be don't kill people.
Exactly.
Remember, he says why. Like it's like something a kid would say. Why do you just can't kill people? Why you just can't? Okay, it's like, And then there's a scene later on where he goes up. Remember what I said? Don't kill anyone. So he goes up to the guard and shoots him in the legs. And then he says, "What did I tell you?" He says, "He'll live." That's what he says.
Exactly.
It's just, just one of the great movies.
And that's why,
even by modern standards, yeah.
That's why giving him autonomy mattered, because up till that point he's just following orders, literally, and after that point he follows orders. But now he starts to understand the why. He starts to fill in the why as he goes, which leads to that last scene where the why is, in order to do what I promised to do, I have to and I can't self-terminate, but it has to happen,
Yes. Geek Flag saying, "Boomer choice is illusion. We're all in the Matrix." Listen, I do want to make a point that both this series and The Matrix are similar in the fact that they're all about humans, like a future where humans and machines had a nasty war, right? Differences in The Matrix, when you follow the mythology, you realize that we humans kind of messed with the machines enough that the machines just said F it and started attacking us.
Yeah.
So it wasn't,
exactly.
Whereas in Terminator, it was more one-sided.
Yeah.
But speaking of the machines, hold on. Let me get to. There's of course Sarah Connor. Linda Hamilton got fit for this role too at the time. I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. I also like the fact that
go ahead.
by the third movie, they wrote her out by saying it was cancer.
Yes.
And that was them paying attention to the fact that she was smoking in the previous two movies.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, but on the Sarah Connor Chronicles,
yes,
when they access her files in the future, she learns, oh, I do die from cancer. In fact, she might have been fighting it on the show, and then it regresses, so they changed the timeline again. So I kind of looked at the Sarah Connor Chronicles like an alternate timeline.
It absolutely is alternate.
It was actually pretty good. I think it was the best Terminator 2 sequel we could have gotten.
I agree with you, and the worst part about that is that's the one they should have explored, and they didn't. You know?
Oh well. But here we go. Matrix has a different worldview about people. It probably does. Yeah. But of course, this one has a dark worldview about people too. Like, why are we're not going to make it, are we humans? John Connor says. And the term says you are. What is it? It's in your nature to destroy yourselves or something.
Yeah.
I would argue that's a little pessimistic. I think it was in human nature to destroy ourselves. We would have done it by now. Anyway, I got to start getting to it.
I think that's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
If you look at humanity as a unit, that would be true. but that's not how humanity looks at itself. We look at ourselves from first the person ourselves, our family, our friends, and our community. That's what we look at. And then we look outward from there. It is in our nature to destroy each other, but to keep your tribe alive at all costs.
Yeah.
We're very tribal.
Tribal.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing.
I did want to also bring up another character in the movie, Miles Dyson, the man behind Skynet, the scientist. And I think this is very interesting because basically Linda, Sarah Connor finds out all the details and she's like, you know what, I'm going to find Miles Dyson and I'm going to kill him. And that'll stop this horrible future from happening. And then, you see her break into the place and you see that, no, he's a family man. He's got a wife and kids and the kids are screaming. You think the kid even jumps in front of his dad. Don't kill my dad. And Miles say, look, don't just do what you want to be. Spare my family, please. And when he says that, she can't kill him. Because you realize that the guy that invents Skynet, he's not some malevolent mad scientist. He's a guy who's doing this because he thinks it will benefit humanity. He doesn't
And when she finally tells him why she's doing this, he's like, well, why didn't you say so? I don't want that to happen.
Well, no, he basically says, I'm done. I'll quit the company tomorrow. I will not work on this. But then he decides, no, we have to go in there and we have to actually destroy every record and everything. I'll help you do it because I'm responsible for this. I have to, I have to do this. So he actually is on their side when they explain to him and he sees the Terminator hands. And it's interesting that, like I said, he was an interesting character because I thought, you would figure he'd
Darth
be...
Plato bringing back my university philosophy that I'd mostly forgotten. Yeah, it's classic Hobbes versus Rousseau. Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, great classic science fiction action movie. We could probably talk about this for another 2 hours, but maybe that'll be a future Friday stream. So that's that great scene where basically when the security guard finds out the one's tied up, he calls, "Send us everything you got," and Connor says,
"The police are here. How many? All of them, I think."
Yeah. It's all of them, and he can't kill any of them.
And I love that was a brilliant use of when so in the first movie. To very horrific, very scary, creepy effect. Yeah. You see certain things from the Terminator's point of view. They did this a lot in The Predator too, seeing the Predator's view, right? And you see the drop down, you see target acquired, and you get to realize what the capabilities of the Terminator are. They use that again in this film to a different effect. As he looks out and he does a situation analysis of the police, you see from the drop downs, he's evaluating how to neutralize them as targets with zero loss of life.
Scare them off, blow up their cars, but don't kill them,
Exactly.
Shoot around
and
them
you
so
see,
they think,
and at the end, after they've gone running and there's all these flames, you see zero loss of life. And it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it's great storytelling visually without having to explain what's happening.
In 1990, there were 8,817 cops in the LAPD. Okay. But
I don't think there were that many there.
There were a lot there, though. There was a lot because they and just brilliant. Then we get the great action scene with the truck. Anyway, we
do have eventually we're going to have another stream coming up on a Friday. We are going to return to a Batman 89 stream, and I do want to share about one of the books that I've just finished reading. Cool. The brilliant idea where the bad guys stage a huge this kind of an attack on a single location to draw the police away so they could do stuff in other parts of the town. Anyway.
That's smart. Yeah. There we go. That's the T1000.
Classic scene. Yeah, exactly.
And of course there we have Arnold toward the end, getting a little damage, and you see his other face.
I do feel like the press. This is a perfect example of good use of a higher budget, but also a bit of an advance in the prosthetic technology. This was pretty good. This was a definite upgrade from the previous movie.
Cigarado asks, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Our
We've
Terminator
just been
2
talking
discussion.
about Terminator 2.
It's okay. We're going to start it over from the beginning just for you. Okay. We'll be here another 45 minutes. We'll get to the news at some point. No, you can catch it on the repeat. We were talking about the good old
Honestly,
days
this
of
is
Terminator
better than
2.
most of the news we're going to be talking about tonight.
Well, I think we're going to start off with a good one, though. Sort
True.
of ties into our first story. I'm ragging a lot about the game industry, but keep in mind that there are still great games coming out.
Yeah.
And one that I think has a potential to be a modern classic in a retro form, oddly enough, is this new Terminator 2 game coming to consoles this at the end of the month. And it's going to have a physical edition, and it doesn't matter what you own. If you own a Switch, if you own a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox, it's getting versions on everything. So you can get a physical edition of this game for $59.99. Now, I granted it looks like an old Super Nintendo game, but it also comes with some extras in the box too. Or you can get the Super Duper Collector's Edition for $119, which comes with even more swag. But I don't work for Bitmap Bureau. I just think this is cool. All right, Terminator 2D, No Fate. Will the classic arcade game faithfully live up to the movie's legacy? Get it, Terminator 2D.
Yeah.
You get it? Okay.
I get it.
Is the next attempt at bringing the Terminator franchise to home console gaming. Bitmap Bureau's game is ambitious, but will it faithfully follow the blockbuster movie? They're a British company, by the way, a British developer. Several other Terminator games have tried and failed. This unique side-scroller has all the makings of being a real hit for the franchise. Here's what to expect from the Terminator 2D No Fate's plot, gameplay mechanics, graphics, and more. Iconic some movie scenes blended with unique storylines. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is considered one of the best action movies of all time. Many iconic moments take place in James Cameron's 1991 classic, and Bitmap Bureau promises to recreate various scenes in its Terminator 2D No Fate game. You can see right here, there's the classic truck chase scene.
Yep.
In glorious 6-bit art style, memorable moments from the film, such as the Pescadero State Hospital escape and the Corral Bar incident, will be played out in the game. And yes, the iconic truck chase scene through Los Angeles drainage canal system will be a gameplay sequence.
Yep.
To give the game a fresh feel, the developers are introducing new gameplay scenarios to play alongside the movie's events. Terminator 2D Fate has multiple endings, making Terminator 2's famous "There's no fate but we make" line even more meaningful.
Yeah.
Let's see. It says, bring the classic vibe to gaming consoles will be no mean feat. Many developers have tried but ultimately failed over the years, but this game promises unmatched Terminator authenticity. Here's what I'll say this. This is a passion project from a studio that likes to make these 2D style games. They really are indie creators, and it's interesting they got their hands on the Terminator license. It must be cheap right now. That's all I can say because of all these failed movies, but it's gonna have I think they even licensed the score. It's gonna have voice. There's gonna be voice acting. It has everything except Arnold's visage in the game. Like you'll still see the Terminator 100, but in pixel form. But everyone else, like Robert Patrick's T1000 is there. You see cutscenes with him in it. Sarah Connor is there. Linda Hamilton's in it. So, I guess they wanted to make a Terminator 2 game we never got back in the Super Nintendo and Genesis days, because the Terminator 2 game we got kind of sucked. There was the arcade game. Wait, H Boomer, is this a physical copy? I repeat, Jessica Hardo, yes. This is coming out as a physical game. If you own a PlayStation 4, you can get it on the PlayStation 4 as a physical game.
Right?
Okay, so yes, if you own a
How
Nintendo Switch,
cool is that?
it is a physical media. Every major console, if you get the Xbox One version, it comes with the Xbox One and the Xbox Series version on the same disc. And there's also a separate PlayStation 4 and a separate PlayStation 5 version and a Nintendo Switch version. I don't know if there's a Nintendo Switch 2 version, but I mean, it's backwards compatible anyway, right? So, yeah, and you can get it off Amazon or Best Buy or any outlet that sells these things. And like I said, it comes with a bit swag. You get a fake game token from the arcade John Connor was at. As one of the things you get in the box. And I think you get a cloth poster, and it looks neat. I did want to make a point about this. Original movie weapons. I did want to make a point that they did a trailer recently for this game. I don't think it's in this article, that you can actually play I think when you play the game first run through, it goes to the movie line, but then when you play it on repeats, you can actually change events. Like what would happen if the term T800 got destroyed and you have to play through the movie as just Sarah Connor and John Connor. and things like that.
Wow.
Or if Sarah
interesting.
Connor got killed by the T-1000, how would that change how the movie went? Do you understand? So they let you do alternate scenarios after you play through the main thing.
That. That's actually kind of a brilliant idea.
So, really looking forward to this game. I think this might end up being my game of the year, provided Bitmap Bureau's done good stuff. They made a game called Xeno Crisis, which was kind of done in the Smash TV style, but more themed like Aliens, where you play colonial marines killing horrible aliens. It wasn't. They didn't have the official Alien license, obviously, but you could tell that's what it's aping off of, right? So, so I don't know. Looks good, and see, not everything is bad in the world of entertainment. And like I said, these developers, I don't know how it's going to turn out in the final run, but I know that they're trying to make a great classic indie Terminator game. I guess that's how I would describe this. Okay, all right,
Cool.
so check it out. Oh no. Now the mood has to go down.
Yeah, I'm not fired up about this.
But I think I have this on here as a PSA. I think that's why I put this article in here. Nintendo wins lawsuit against pirate streamer who taunted company online. A year after filing a lawsuit against streamer Every Game Guru, whose name is Jesse Keegan, who repeatedly streamed pirated emulated Switch games and bragged about it on social media, Nintendo has finally secured a final settlement via Torrent Freak. A Colorado federal court has ordered, as per final judgment, that Keegan must pay Nintendo of America $17,500 in damages. This verdict follows on from an additional motion that was filed in April of 2025 after Keegan repeatedly evaded responding. Magistrate Judge Scott T. Varholok's recommendation states that Keegan streamed gameplay footage before the games were released to the public on at least 50 occasions, with Mario and Luigi Brothership being the most recent example. Other games included Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Pikmin 4, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. However, the court has refused to issue a permanent injunction on the streamer to destroy all circumvention devices, as it is unclear what purpose those would serve and what devices will be covered by this provision, as most of them are freely available on the internet. That's interesting, that they didn't do that. So yeah, Nintendo got this guy. And just be careful. I remember there's one YouTuber I watched. Was it RGT85? He covers this stuff, and he had a review going up for a Nintendo game the day of the game's release, because somehow he got his hands on it early. I think it was a shipment error. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But he had played the game and got his review ready, but he didn't release the review of the game until the day of the game's release. But Nintendo got wise to that, and they said, take down that video. We know you had to have gotten the game early. And I'm like, wow. Because theoretically, he's following the embargo, but they still estimated that he couldn't have had the game prior. And I think,
and honestly, as somebody who's doing streaming like this and stuff, I personally feel that that's fine. That's fine. I will never do anything positive to support these companies. I will always share with my audience when they do stuff like this and show themselves to be villains. I absolutely am happy to give them negative press. I am happy to do it, and there's nothing they can say about it. I've taken down this stream. This is why. This was my interaction with them.
Yeah.
Let them take me to court. Let them take me to court. And underscore why you should stop giving money to these horrible, evil companies.
They need to refocus on what they've been doing lately. And I am doing this as a PSA. There are certain companies that will come after you for certain things, but usually it's like a strike. Like, okay, I'll have this video struck down. No, they actually took this guy to court. Now, granted, usually the people they go after are the people distributing these illegal games early. But in this case, it was just a guy who I guess got his hands on them and was streaming them. So just be wary, guys, out there. I'm giving this as a warning to you.
And this is really no different from the situation we brought you with Hasbro sending the Pinkertons to a YouTuber to shut him down because he had received, what was it? Magic the Gathering cards early, and he was showing them off. Again, promoting Hasbro, promoting Magic the Gathering cards, but you want to bust his legs over doing that. Fine. F you. Let's let everybody know. And I'm telling you, I bring up the Pinkerton incident and why Hasbro is an evil company and why they should not get your money.
Anyone remember the Terminator 2 arcade shooter? Yes, I used to have that back in the day, Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, well, I didn't have that, but I used to see it in the arcades. They did release it on home consoles, but you needed one of the light guns to play it.
Yep.
Moving on to... It's like Nintendo's evil right now, and Microsoft are acting like clowns.
Yeah, they are.
Xbox is acting like clowns. I don't understand this.
We're going to have a lot of... We're going to talk about Xbox a lot tonight, yeah.
What is this? Microsoft CEO agrees Xbox's competition isn't other gaming platforms, it's TikTok.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
I don't know. Which is scary because the CEO of Microsoft doesn't understand, these tech and streaming outlets. It's like, do you even know what company you work for? Do you even understand what TikTok is? Do you understand what your gaming platform is? Really?
Well, let me read a bit of the article. Maybe it make more sense. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella has echoed comments from Xbox's leadership that the company views its competition in gaming not as other gaming platforms, but short-form video like TikTok. Speaking to TBPN during a live stream on Tuesday, transcribed by VGC, Nadella was asked about his outlook on gaming in a month where Xbox announced Halo for PlayStation 5 and is reportedly under pressure to hit unprecedented profit margins. Yeah, because they want 30%. PlayStation gets 22, and I think Nintendo was around 19 or 20. No one does 30% profit in console business. That's ridiculous. Okay, Nadella used the segment to talk up Microsoft's gaming on Windows business, which he noticed is its biggest, and alluded to bringing next console closer to Windows. This was another thing that was funny in his interview. He was talking about, of course, there's Steam and Windows gaming, and I'm like, no one talks about Windows gaming. You're not on the same level as Steam.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, remember the biggest gaming business, the Windows game business, Dell said to us, Windows, and of course Steam, here's the quote, has a built-in marketplace on top of it and done very successful job. To us, the way we are thinking about gaming, first of all, now we're the biggest publisher after acquiring Activision. Well, that's true. They probably are the biggest publisher. So therefore, we want to be a fantastic publisher, similar approach to what we did with Office. We're going to be everywhere on every platform, so we want to make sure, whether it's consoles, whether it's the PC, whether it's mobile, whether it's cloud gaming on the TV, we just want to make sure the game is enjoyed by gamers everywhere. But again, you're talking about an operating system.
Right.
You're a games publisher. If you want to have your games on everything, okay. But then you're not really in the console business anymore, because if I can get like Call of Duty on a Nintendo system or through Steam or through a PlayStation, why do I need an Xbox when I can get these same games on the other things and get the exclusives?
Right.
I don't like everyone's favorite, Ghost of Yotai. I'm kidding, of course. Okay, the CEO went on to discuss Microsoft's plan for its next Xbox console, which he suggests Microsoft wants to bring closer to its PC business. According to reports, the next-gen Xbox will be a hybrid system capable of playing PC games from multiple stores like Steam and Epic Games. This is sounding like the next Xbox system is going to be a PC, a gaming PC.
Yeah.
Not a console. Because if you can play Steam games on it, is it going to have Windows on it? I don't... Okay, but most importantly, the game business model has to be where we have to invent maybe some other interactive media as well, because after all, gaming's competition is not other gaming. Gaming's competition is short-form video, Nadella said. And so if we as an industry don't continue to innovate, both how we produce, what we produce, and how we think about distribution, the economic model right, and the best way to innovate is to have good margins, because that's the way you can fund. You like that statement? Does that make any sense to you?
Well, in light of what Jesse Guajardo says, I don't know. This is Jesse Guajardo's opinion. I don't know if it's based on anything. But Troy, I think the CEO of Xbox has dementia. Well, maybe.
I just don't think he's that smart. Or he's doing a bunch of doublespeak, because
Well,
They're promising their investors 30%
I think
profit,
I
which is
think
impossible.
I think a certain amount of idiocy comes with the title of CEO, to be honest with you. I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but it seems to play out the more and more I see of these people.
Look, I didn't like Xbox's whole model this generation with them doing their Game Pass, which was basically a glorified rental service. But gamers seem to like it because it was $15 a month, and I don't have to buy the games. I can just go with this rental service. And I guess if you had no money, this is what you went to, and you could play all the new hits. And they were profiting from it. But then they raised it up to 30, which became prohibitively expensive. They twice the cost, and now people are like, well, now this isn't a bargain. And they don't innovate; they innervate.
Innervate,
That's a good word. I should look it
yeah.
up later. Xbox controller is going for peanuts. Amazon already sold 20,000 units in a snap. This is the Xbox Series X controller. I'm going to say something nice about Xbox. I love their controller. It's a good controller.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that controller. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, gaming reaches its peak when you're playing alongside friends on the couch, controller in hand, trash talking your way through intense matches. The problem always comes to having enough quality controllers for everyone, and cheap alternatives feel terrible just a few minutes while premium options drain your wallet. Amazon just dropped the 2025 Xbox wireless controller from $64 down to $49, and over 20,000 people snagged one up. Because it represents an all-time low pricing on Microsoft's latest design. This controller works across Xbox consoles, Windows, PCs, Android devices, iOS platform, Fire Stick TVs, smart TVs, and even VR headsets. This thing is actually, I think it's basically a default controller for PC gaming. If you want a gaming console-style controller, I think this works with a lot of Steam games. So it's a nice controller. I have like 3 of them myself, so because I'm nuts and I like to buy controllers.
Because I'm nuts.
No, I mean, I bought one during the sale. I got a blue one because I have a red one. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a blue one to go with the red one now. So yeah, but $50 is not a bad price for this controller, and I think in many ways they have the best controller on the market. I know some people are more partial to the Sony style controllers, but even Nintendo, when they made their Pro controller for the Switch, I think it was sort of modeled after the Xbox controller. It has like the two, because you have the analog stick to the bottom right, you have another one to the top left, you have a directional pad. This one's a concave directional pad, which I think is actually superior to what they had on the Xbox One's controller. And you have 2 trigger buttons up top, and you have the 4 buttons on. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like controllers because I grew up with this thing called an Atari controller, which was the stick coming out of the thing, and you had to kind of twist it and press I didn't like it. Okay,
Yeah.
I know that's what you had. I'm sorry. Part of me wonders if I only got
the
into gaming
Atari
when
one.
Yeah.
those were. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I would have my thumb on the top of the stick.
Yep.
And my let's see, I guess it would be my. See, so I was holding it so that my fingers were underneath the controller, my left thumb was on top of the stick, and then my other button was pressing that fire button. I was good.
There you go. Yeah, people got used to it. Like I said, I grew up with that too. I used to play Dig Dug with it on the Atari computer, but it could be more affordable. Yes, Stacy Cardo, I know $50 is not cheap. The green one is a little less. I think it's 47 something, but I think $50 is fair. That's what I want to make a point about. Okay, it is a quality controller. Microsoft irritates. Well, I don't know what to tell you. All the controllers are expensive now. So, Microsoft's Xbox console sales fall 29%. Yeah, because no one's buying their stuff anymore. As gaming content
It's going to be really hard to make that profit margin, isn't it?
I have no idea what they're doing. Microsoft reported its latest quarterly earnings results Wednesday, revealing that gaming revenue decreased $113 million. Tech company attributed the decline to nearly 30% drop in Xbox sales, offset in part by growth in Xbox content and services. Revenue from Xbox content and services, which includes Xbox Game Pass subscription service sales of its first-party video games, was $5.5 billion for the July-September quarter, up 1% from the comparable period in 2024. Per Microsoft, Xbox hardware revenue decreased 29%, driven by lower volume of consoles sold because you raised the prices.
Yep.
Xbox content and service revenue increased 1%, a strong prior year comparable with growth in Xbox Game Pass and third-party content, offset in part by a decline in first-party content. In the previous report, report quarter, which ran April to June, Xbox sales were down 22%. The next time Microsoft report earnings, those results should include details on sales for the recently launched handheld devices. Oh, okay. So, okay. Do I want to stay on this article anymore? Let's go.
I don't think so. I wouldn't, no.
Let's zip across. That was a minute, right? All right.
Right.
This why I thought was kind of funny. Apparently, this enraged Angry Joe, if I heard the rumors right. But GameStop declares the console wars over. You know,
yeah, there is a bit of humor here. Yes,
I thought this was kind of funny. GameStop may get a commission from retail. Okay, sorry, Following the announcement of the Halo campaign Evolve will be coming to PlayStation 5, as well as the Xbox Series XS and PC, GameStop has leveraged its position as neutral entity to declare the decades-long console wars officially over. According to the tongue-in-cheek statement posted on X by GameStop, the company attributes the beginning of its ongoing and increasingly petty conflict known as the console wars to the release of Halo Combat Evolved as an Xbox exclusive title in 2001. Now that Microsoft has announced that a remake of the title Halo Campaign Evolve will come to PlayStation 5 in 2026, GameStop has called the official end to the infamous console wars, now playing Halo Campaign Evolve versus Halo Combat Evolve. Okay, this is what they said. All claims to exclusivity are hereby dissolved. Console loyalists are instructed to cease hostilities, disband militias, and enjoy this new era of gaming. The directive from GameStop reads. Very funny. All right, console wars have apparently been going on, I even think, since the Atari age. Wasn't it Atari versus Intellivision? Wasn't that the first?
That's right, it was, yeah.
And then you had, of course, Nintendo and Sega entering the fray, and then it was Sony, and then Microsoft with the Xbox showed up. I would argue that it doesn't count if Nintendo is still making Switches, because is the Switch a console? I think it's a hybrid console, because it's console and portable. It's probably a portable first, so I guess that means PlayStation 5 is the winner.
I guess.
They're the only ones making a pure console now. Angry Joe is angry at everything, yes. So, yeah, I just thought this was funny. Apparently people are not liking the looks of the new Halo game anyway, though. Oh, I got it for gaming. The sad thing about the Xbox doing not so hot is in the past, how a company would respond to this is that they would cut the price.
Mm-hmm.
So you could go out and you could buy at least a cheaper console. Like when the GameCube was getting killed in sales, Nintendo dropped that thing to as low as $100. Then you could go out and buy a bunch of $20 games for it. So it was an affordable, okay, it's not the number one console, but at least it was cheaper and you could buy a lot of games for it. Now what they do when they're losing, they raise the price, which doesn't make any sense to me, but what do I know? Paramount CEO reportedly plans to use AI to increase movie and TV output in Warner Brothers merger if Warner Brothers Discovery merger goes through. Now, of course, we love AI, don't we?
We'll get to that.
I don't know if now is the time we want to do the op-ed by Nate, or if we want to save it for after.
I absolutely think that since you brought it up, this is a great time. Let's go to our man in the what do we call it?
Man in the field.
Man in the field, out on the street.
On the street. A reporter.
An op-ed from Geek Flag with Nate Knows. Just let's go to him right now.
Hollywood, a town most of us never set foot in, but it has touched all our lives. Your favorite TV show, that great movie you keep quoting, but something got Hollywood in a tizzy right now. Digital starlet rocks Tinseltown. You heard me, folks. A completely digital actress. Her name, Tilly Norwood. Now, Hollywood is a town used to its silicone. Boob job here and injection there. But this dame, she's probably made of this stuff.
I gotta tell you, that brought a bit of class, I think, to this show.
Yep. And I mean, I actually love that. I meant to bring that to you guys last week, but I had a little bit of technical difficulties. I figured out what the problem is, and maybe we'll see more of those going forward. This isn't out of place, though. Even though we couldn't do this last week, I think it applies to this as well. Let's go ahead and get into it.
I got an LA Confidential vibe from that.
Right? Yeah, I guess that's why I liked it so
There we
much.
go. All right, so Paramount CEO reportedly plans to use AI to increase movie and TV output if Warner Brothers merger goes through. Yes. So, plot thickens for potential merger between Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount Skydance because artificial intelligence has reportedly entered the conversation through multiple parties. Though multiple parties have been interested in acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery following the sale announcement, such parties include Netflix and Apple. The biggest contender to become the studio's new owner appears to be Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison. The company has so far sent in 3 bids, each adding new things to make the proposal more attractive for the Warner Brothers Discovery board. All 3 bids have been rejected, but Ellison seems determined to acquire the studio. Now, an interesting report has come out about the CEO's purported plans should Warner Brothers Discovery end up merging with Paramount. In a report about the current potential merger situation, Bloomberg stated that Ellison intends to take advantage of new technologies like artificial intelligence to produce more films and TV shows. According to Bloomberg's source, he intends to potentially merge Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery to have an output of 30 movies per year. In a span of only a few years, AI has become a potential disruptor in the industry. Multiple creatives such as Guillermo del Toro, for example, and guilds have spoken about the use of the technology. In fact, its use was a major point of contention in the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Yet at the same time, more and more creatives and executives appear to be leaning toward employing the technology. Many high-profile productions have already used it, a good example being Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. However, given the contentiousness of artificial intelligence, many such productions don't even advertise their use of the technology. In the case where AI use is uncovered, apologies or statements on the matter are usually released. However, if Warner Brothers Discovery does indeed merge with Paramount and Ellison's purported plans come to fruition, the CEO would take the first major step in normalizing AI usage in Hollywood. After that, it would only be a matter of time before other studios follow suit and AI becomes openly commonplace in the entertainment industry. As of now, Warner Brothers Discovery has not accepted bids from potential buyers, so there is still some time before we know what actions a potential new owner of the company will take. We could have Tilly Norwood in these movies. What do you think?
That's entirely plausible. Yeah.
Could you program Tilly Norwood to throw up her own organs on screen?
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. Let's face it, if they start getting good with this, it won't just be AI. It'll be AI blended with, controlled CG. They'll probably still use some, motion capture type stuff, whatnot. Let's face it, we saw the beginnings of this with Disney and The Mandalorian, right? Where half the time or more, who knows, Pedro Pascal wasn't even in that costume. It was just a stand-in, and he would do voiceovers. And pretty soon, they will be able to synthesize a voice, and you will be able to have just whomever you want playing the stand-in, and you don't need any special star. And I'm not saying I'm not talking specifically about The Mandalorian. You don't need to clone Pedro Pascal's voice and say, okay, bye, Pedro. No. When you start a new character that is a Mandalorian type character,
you can't even see the actor. Yes,
you can't see his face. You formulate an artificial voice, and you start using AI to generate their dialogue, and you just have a stand-in, a stunt guy playing the role, probably for less money than you would, a face star, right? And if after a couple seasons that stunt guy starts asking for more money, no thanks, we'll just bring in another guy. Or you just have different stunt people at different times and availabilities, and you just rotate them in and out, and that's
one good movie, then 2, then 3.
Yeah.
I
There's a certain amount of verisimilitude there because you never have to worry about the character aging out. You could just keep doing it over and over and over again forever. Well,
I
I just said Mandalorian, a character in a mask. Doesn't even have to be that. Just like with this whole Tilly Norwood thing, it could be your Indiana Jones like character or James Bond type character that you cast with an artificial face and it never ages.
they could do that with Bond. They could make him look like the actual Fleming character from the books. They'd have to give him the scar on the side of his face, though.
Yeah, if they wanted to actually make a good James Bond, and they don't. So that's not what they're going to do. It's going to be, it's going to be a handicapped black lesbian next time for Jane Bond.
Jane Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anyway, I don't know. I like the books, but I have to start a new book series now. Maybe Master and Commander. I might try those. Netflix exploring Warner Brothers bid. This one interested me. Taps investment bank that handled Paramount's Skydance.
Uh-huh.
This sounds serious. Netflix has retained financial advisory from Moles and Company to explore a potential bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. The streaming service has enlisted the investment bank to evaluate a potential offer for Warner's streaming and studio business following its work advising Skydance Media on its Paramount Global bid, granting Netflix access to Warner Brothers Discovery's necessary financial details. A source close to events confirmed Thursday night that the streamer is looking into the possibility of a move on part of Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix declined to comment. Following Warner Brothers Discovery's rejection of Paramount's second bid, the company made a market-moving declaration at its first confirmation that it is indeed for sale. Warner Brothers Discovery said it's initiated a strategic review process in light of unsolicited interest from multiple parties. Netflix co-CEO Greg Peters previously appeared to shut down speculation of a studio merger. You have to do that by the hard work of developing those capabilities in the trenches day to day. You don't get there by simply buying another company that is also still developing those same capabilities, he said on the streamer's quarterly earnings webcast. Co-CEO Ted Sarandos added, "We've been very clear in the past that we have no interest in owning legacy media networks, though there's no change there." I don't know. I could see them. If Netflix were to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, this would give them access to tons of content for their streaming platform.
I can understand why they'd be interested in Warner Brothers. This is why I think it might be a bidding war between between Netflix and Paramount. But honestly, I think Warner Brothers is leaning towards Paramount. Just if you listen to some of the things that Zaslav has said,
it sounds like he's like the woman, like the girl playing hard to get from a guy she likes. Is that what we're saying?
Exactly.
Yes.
I think he said. I think he did that. I think he's like, Netflix is coming sniffing around, and Paramount's like, well, wait a minute, we'll do this, that, and the other. And, I think this is the way the game goes. My prediction is that ultimately Paramount is going to acquire Warner Brothers, but I totally understand why Netflix would be interested.
Because when Netflix first started, the idea behind Netflix was they had everything. You could watch old Sopranos episodes or an X-Files episode or whatever, because everything was on there, right? And then they lost a lot of that because everybody wanted to make their own streaming platforms. But if they were to get Warner Brothers, they would have tons of movies, but also tons of TV shows. Not just through HBO, through a lot of the network shows that Warner Brothers produced over the years. They would have an unfathomable catalog just to throw up on Netflix and be the dominant streamer forever.
So it looks okay. So I see that Nate and Jesse are speculating on the idea of of Warner Brothers doing a garage sale and selling off their properties. I only see that as being a possibility if Paramount doesn't buy them. If Paramount buys them, Paramount's buying them lock, stock, and barrel.
This is what I see. I noticed that they did this whole split, right?
Yeah.
Where they kind of split the company sort of in two, and I often had the impression that they were going to try to sell off both, but maybe to different interests. Is that possible?
Possibly. Well, that's why you do something like that, so that you have those options open to you. Uh, we're just bringing you the news and then trying to read the tea leaves. Ultimately, time will tell, right?
I think Netflix may end up getting DC, but here's the weird thing about Netflix. Netflix, they're very shy about being a theatrical movie company, and they've made movies. People have argued with them, why isn't that on the big screen?
Right.
Like this latest Frankenstein movie they made. People were saying, God, just put that out in theaters, please. It's like and they're very bad about putting anything they own on physical media. They were okay in the beginning, like we would actually get Stranger Things Blu-rays
Right.
and DVDs, but then they stopped doing that.
And here's what these
yeah.
companies need to understand. Okay? And this kind of goes back a little bit to the articles we were talking about before. If you don't put it out in physical media, people will make it themselves.
Yeah.
And they might make it for themselves and then sell it to other people. You're enriching the scalpers, is what you're doing. I see this happening all the time. I go off on Hasbro and Mattel and all these other companies doing the stupidity of limited sales, limited quantities through this certain medium, and all the scalpers buy it and then charge you 2 and 3 times on eBay. Well, what's happening is you're putting out your movie or whatever, your TV show or whatever, on your streaming service, and somebody with technical know-how is just downloading it, putting it on their own DVDs and Blu-rays, and selling them on all the different platforms, and people are buying them because people want them. And you're missing out on that money. You can moan and complain about it, and you can do all you want to do to go after them and torrent sites and all this kind of stuff, whatever. But it doesn't change the fact that you're leaving money on the table.
I want Orville season 3 and Kim Possible and Aladdin series. You'll never see the Aladdin series. Disney has buried that thing. I've heard rumors that they're embarrassed of it or something. Yeah, I don't know why.
There's many properties that you will never see from Disney for exactly that same reason. Like, Song of the South, which is why I have made my own Blu-ray. I may have somehow a copy of that may have found its way to Tom Connors over at Midnight's Edge. Maybe, just saying. You gotta do it for yourself, guys. I'm sorry.
Jessica Hardo, I do want to make a comment on this. Troy wouldn't be surprised if Netflix wants Hanna-Barbera animation department to work on their cartoons, since everyone knows about the Netflix animation department sucks. Yeah, but what's Hanna-Barbera been up to lately, though? Were they the ones that made that Velma series for HBO?
Probably not. It was probably licensed. That was a licensed property. I think somebody else did that.
Yeah. So, I don't know why things end up on DVD and other things get shelved. I actually want to give a shout out to Paramount. Whatever I think of their Paramount Plus series, they always come out on DVD, like clockwork. Tulsa King, you can get that on DVD. You can get... They do not keep things exclusive on their service forever. They will bring out the new seasons. They will put.
Troy, don't forget the streaming services streaming to your television or computer at 720p or 1080p instead of 4K. But Free Rock, don't forget that there's a lot of very savvy people out there that are upscaling a lot of this stuff themselves.
Did you know that when Star Trek Discovery premiered, it was at I think 720p.
Yeah.
And people were furious. It's like, what the heck, man? We're in 4K right now, and you're giving us the broadcast in 720p. It's ridiculous. Yeah. That was when they were first launching the Paramount network. It's like,
although, and I will speak to this also, Netflix is aware that people are getting annoyed by this, and so now. Well, not Netflix, excuse me, I take that back. YouTube is aware of this, and YouTube is now starting to allow for higher streaming rates. So, for example, apparently they are starting to allow larger thumbnails. So some of the platforms are going to have to start allowing for that, because I'm getting sick and tired of seeing these very, very low resolution, blurry thumbnails. That makes it look very, very unprofessional.
Yeah.
So that's changing on YouTube. Watch for Netflix to start changing that as well.
Last Hanna-Barbera cartoon is the Jellystone series. I didn't realize that.
There you go.
But yeah, so you don't think this is going to happen, basically. Okay.
It's plausible, but I still think that Paramount's going to end up winning in the end.
I know why Netflix wants Warner's. Even if they were to
Sure.
basically shut down the entire studio, it's the content they could just throw on their streamer.
Oh, agreed.
And they'd be
agreed.
set forever. I mean, I don't... What does Warner Brothers own? They probably own sitcoms. Like, is Friends a Warner Brothers show? They could
I
throw
have no
Friends...
idea.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. You have The Sopranos on Netflix again. That'd be interesting. And this I just threw up here because there was not anything good to go with the article. So Paramount to lay off 2,000 workers shortly after merger with Skydance. Yes, Hollywood's doing fine. In a widely expected job cuts after completing its $8 billion merger with Skydance, Paramount has begun layoffs set to impact about 2,000 employees. Paramount initiated roughly 1,000 of those layoffs company-wide on Wednesday. The rest of the cuts are expected to be made at a later date. In all, 2,000 job reductions amount to about 10% of Paramount's total workforce. These decisions are never made lightly, especially given their effect on our colleagues who have made meaningful contributions to the company. CEO David Ellison wrote Wednesday in a memo to employees. The prospect of job cuts has hovered over Paramount employees for some time. Ellison on Wednesday reiterated that the company has been working to restructure since the completion of its merger in August, and noted that the workforce cuts are part of that process. It's not uncommon for business to initiate layoffs following the merger. When Skydance completed its purchase of Paramount, the combined company said it would look for opportunities to streamline its business. Paramount also rumored to have interest in buying Warner Bros. Discovery, the home of HBO, CNN, and DC Studios, among other brands. Neither Paramount nor Warner's publicly confirmed. Yes, I know. We already mentioned this. I will say this, at least the wording, at least he's not sugarcoating it, which is what I don't like. I mean, did that sound like corpo speak to you? It sounded
Very
normal.
much so. Yes,
Okay,
it absolutely did. Right.
Okay, well then I don't know. It sounded better when Jason Kilar was firing people at Warner Brothers. It was like, oh, this hurts me more than it does you. It almost felt like he was saying.
One thing that I'm going to say is, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they say they're planning to do, the reality is that the same thing happens every time that there's a merger, right? You expect that one or both companies is going to be doing some downsizing to eliminate redundancies. Plus, because of the expenditure to make the merger happen, they need to cut costs somewhere, and usually downsizing is the first rung on that ladder.
You know where they can do the downsizing? Secret hideout?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're probably looking at that. I'm sure that's definitely a thought in their mind.
Can you get rid of everything Star Trek related?
Please.
Mothball it for a while, maybe remaster Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and then we can revisit Star Wars in a few years. Star Trek in a few years.
Exactly.
Just make it stop. You have to stop the bleeding before you can start the healing, okay? And it's like, it's still bleeding. We'll get into another thing that's still bleeding too, which is Doctor Who. We have an article about that later. Okay. I'm spoiling it. Okay, here we go. Oh, box office massacre. October revenue falls to 27-year low, excluding the pandemic.
Oh, boy.
You always have to fit the pandemic into a headline about this. Okay. Halloween is shaping up to be scarier than expected for Hollywood and its exhibition partners, but not in a good way. Domestic box office revenue for October 2025 is expected to come in at roughly $425 million, the worst showing in 27 years, according to ComScore. This excludes October 2020, the heart of the pandemic, when the revenue was a mere $55 million, powered by Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Remember when Tenet was in theaters? We were talking about it.
Yeah.
And I think you were saying that it just didn't have an audience. That's why it wasn't doing well. But Otherwise, the last time October was this low was 1997, when combined ticket sales were 385.2 million, not adjusted for inflation. In 1998, revenue jumped to 455.6 million, before crossing 600 million for the first time a year later in 1999. The new millennium brought steady gains, save for a few bumps in the road before the pandemic hit. Programming October, aside from Hollywood-themed releases, was historically a chance for studios and indie distributors to take breathers following the summer blockbuster season to prepare for the year-end holidays. It's also when they began to launch their award films. But as the calendar grew more crowded around the year-end holidays, studios started relying on off-peak months and began opening higher-profile films in October. This culminated with a record 832.8 million showing in 2018, when Sony's superhero pick Venom grossed 190 million in the October alone, followed by awards contender A Star Is Born 153.1 million, and the hit reboot of Halloween 137.9 million. What went so wrong this time? It was a perfect storm of not enough product due to ongoing production delays, left over from the labor strikes, a horrible August, and a relatively weak September. Often carryover titles account for a large chunk of October revenue. The harder truth to bear, many October titles simply didn't resonate with general audiences. Disney's long-awaited Tron Ares is the month's top earner, but has only brought in 63.4 million domestically to date. That's awful.
Yeah.
Considering the budget. Okay, excluding 2020, that's the lowest showing for a top film launching October since DreamWorks SKG's The Wallace and Gromit movie 2 decades ago in 2005. Another major miss was Dwayne Johnson's star The Smashing Machine. Director Benny Safdie and specialty distributor A24's R-rated drama had major awards and box office ambitions, yet has earned a scant 11.4 million since its domestic debut over the October 5th to 7th weekend, and 19.7 million globally, a near career worst for Johnson. Admittedly, he viewed Smash Machine as a chance to flex his acting muscle and make his first run at an Oscar. I have a theory behind why Smashing Machine didn't do well. People looked at it and they said, "Where's The Rock?" He said The Rock was in this movie.
Oh.
The makeup job is so good, he's almost not recognizable. Okay?
Wow. Interesting.
I mean, I sort of said, why does this guy seem familiar, but I've never seen him before? And I'm like, it's The Rock. Because he has the build of The Rock, but it's like, it's his skin tone's different and everything. It was interesting. It's
Wow.
Yeah. If it weren't for the official release of Party of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift's 11th hour theatrical event tied to the release of her new album, things would be even worse. By the way, I know people through my work that went to go see that.
Uh-huh.
And I know what you're thinking. It was a concert movie like the Eras Tour, right?
I would assume, yeah.
Nope.
It was an actual movie with a plot?
Nope.
What the hell was it?
And before you start asking, was it music videos? I don't think it was that either. It sounded like a ripoff from what I heard. Okay.
Oh God.
Why couldn't she do a concert and they filmed the concert and released the concert theatrically? Why didn't they just do that again?
Yeah, I don't know.
It could have been like a one night only thing, and they could have filmed it. I assume the new songs from her new album. I just don't.
Right.
I don't get it. Okay. Let's see. Japanese anime offerings Chainsaw Man the movie, which came in well ahead of expectations when topping October 24th to 25th weekend with 18 million, and September's Demon Slayer Infinity were also unexpected heroes. Chainsaw Man. Are there any Chainsaw Man fans in the chat? Is that a superhero?
No, I think it's an anime thing, isn't it?
But is he a superhero in anime? Does he like make a chainsaw pop out of his head or something? And
I don't know.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
Let's see here, though. From Sony Division, Crunchyroll, Chainsaw Man even came ahead of Blumhouse's Universal's holdover Black Phone 2, one of the few hits of the month. Conversely, Disney's Bruce Springsteen biographical drama Deliver Me From Nowhere sang off-key in an opening of 8.9 million domestically behind expectations. Oh, yeah, there was a Bruce Springsteen biopic that came out. Yeah. Were you aware of that?
No, I was not.
October 23rd to 25th was supposed to be the weekend when Warner Brothers' Mortal Kombat 2 opened, but the pick was pushed back to May 2026. That left a good-sized hole with There Was Nothing Really to Pick Up the Slack. I kind of want to see Mortal Kombat 2 because it's got Carl Urban in it as Johnny Cage. I don't know if you saw the trailer for it.
I did.
Yeah, he's like playing a washed-up action star like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then like he ends up in this tournament. And he's like, "Whoa, they're killing each other." Yes, it's called Mortal Kombat. That's like. ComScore's chief box office analyst Paul Oh no. This guy's name, I'm sorry. It's like the name of that Welsh town, which apparently only Welsh people can pronounce because it goes on for 2 minutes when you say it. All right. Paul Dergarberbidian says that there was a lack of overall momentum following the miserable August and weak September. Now the heat is on for early, including Predator, Badlands, and The Running Man to bridge the gap between the rather slow period with the holiday blockbuster corridor, he says, referring to Thanksgiving tentpoles Wicked for Good and Zootopia 2. I think those will do well. The Wicked for Good and Zootopia 2, I think those will both do well. Predator Badlands seems odd to me from what I've seen of it. I could be wrong, but I think the plot of it is like it's humans and androids from Earth, from the alien universe, messing with one of the Predator race and hunting him, and it's from his point of view.
Huh.
So, like,
Okay.
the humans and the androids are the bad guys, and you're rooting for the Predator. I could be wrong, which I think is, if that is what it is, that might be almost inspired, even though I don't think too highly of that franchise these days. That actually might be might be interesting. For years, the traditional thinking was that October was a time when moviegoers wanted a break between summer tentpoles and year event picks. That attitude changed when 20th Century's Taken 2 did huge business in 2013, helping to lead a then October revenue of $680 million. The following year, October was analyzed from every direction as a launching pad for Oscar fare that also had broad commercial appeal after Sandra Bullock and George Clooney's space drama Gravity helped propel revenue for the month to $628 million. In 2012, revenue grossed $700 million for the first time, led by Gone Girl. Another milestone was achieved in 2018 when combined ticket sales for the fall month cleared $800 million for the first and only time at $832.8 million. The reason, tossing out the rule book, Sony used the month to open up a comic book movie Venom. We already mentioned that. But again, they're talking about the 2010s here. We're not in the 2010s anymore. Movies were fine in the 2010s. People
True.
would go still see movies. They would go out and buy DVDs. We weren't where we are yet now. So let's see. Revenue year to year. So everyone is keeping their fingers crossed that a strong November, December can help maintain that lead so that domestic revenue for the year doesn't slip behind last year's $8.9 million. So it'll end up Thanksgiving marquee along with Christmas titles, James Cameron's Avatar, Fire and Ash, and the next SpongeBob movie to hold down. There's even a potential in Christmas titles Anacondas and award player Marty Supreme with a cast of Timothy Chalamet. I'll probably skip Marty Supreme, but I don't know. This is how I'm predicting things. People will go see Avatar. People are going to go see the Wicked sequel, and they'll see Zootopia 2. What do you think? Do you care?
Well, no. I do care. I like the first Zootopia movie. I don't know. I'm wondering how parents are responding now to these,
To Disney?
especially to Disney. And I think there's a lot of concern about the content there. So I could see it going either way. I think a big part of that is going to depend on the word of mouth that it gets.
Did Disney get slimed or did Pixar get slimed? And before we start, well, it's the same thing. Do people sort of see Pixar as being the one with the bad thing? Because Zootopia 2 is Disney proper, not Pixar.
It kind of doesn't matter.
Okay.
Once
Curious.
Pixar was acquired, it was corrupted by Disney. It became Disney. So now it doesn't matter which studio it is. It is Disney.
Then we're going to get the Wicked sequel.
Oh God.
I know. It's not for me. I'm going to be nice. I'll be nice. I'm not the target audience for that movie. And And there'll be an Avatar sequel, which people will go see because it's the holiday movie. If they want to go out to see a movie during the holidays, they'll go see Avatar. People like that series. I don't quite get it myself, but it's okay. But yeah, Chainsaw Man opening song is pretty good. Okay, I'll take your word for that. But Tron Ares, though, this was the big disaster. I think this tanked the entire month. So good job, Disney, I guess. All right, moving on. You there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Alrighty.
Sometimes my thing goes blank. I thought this one might interest you, but now I'm wondering if I should have trepidations about this. Amazon MGM Studios' I Play Rocky adds Eric Palladino and Rob Demery to the cast.
Yeah, I didn't know at all what this was about when you sent this to me.
Eric Palladino, Godfather of Harlem, and Rob Demery, Robin Roberts Presents Mahalia, are the latest additions to the cast of I Play Rocky, the making of Rocky film from director Peter Farrelly and Amazon Studios. Joining Anthony Appitalito, who stars as a young Sylvester Stallone, Palladino will portray Stallone's boxing coach Pete, with Demery as Joe Frazier, the legendary boxer who made a cameo in Rocky. As previously announced, the ensemble also includes Anna Sophia Robb, PJ Byrne, Toby Kebbell, Tracy Letts, Jay Duplass, Matt Dillon, Stephen James, Kiko Sato, Robert Morgan, Saul Stein, and Trevor St. John. Currently in production, I Play Rocky tells the true story of an unknown actor with an unshakable belief that he wasn't just meant to write Rocky, he was meant to be Rocky Balboa. Told no at every turn, Stallone bets everything on himself, refusing to sell his script unless he could star in the ultimate underdog story behind one of Hollywood's most enduring classics. Toby Emmerich, Christian Baja, and Farrelly are producing the pick, scripted by Peter Gamble, with Film Nation Entertainment handling production services international sales. The only reason why I am kind of hesitant about this movie, I don't see Stallone's name attached to it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if he is or not. Maybe he is. And I guess you don't need Stallone to make a movie about the making of Rocky. You can do whatever you want because it's a true story. And I'm not even going to say it's going to be disrespectful, but you would figure they'd want to at least tack up his name on as a producer or something. But then I forgot that Stallone sort of had a falling out with the Rocky franchise owners, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just don't know. And like I said, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he is attached to this in some way. I don't know, but it doesn't look like it from this article. But I think making a movie about the making of Rocky is probably a good idea. I think I would watch it. I mean, on paper, it sounds like a good idea, right?
Mm.
They've done movies about the making of movies before.
I agree. I think what it comes down to is exactly, and especially, I feel this way, especially since the whole Creed situation. If this is being done without Sylvester Stallone, I'm out. If he is involved and he's backing it, then
that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm the same way. And maybe he is. Like I said, I didn't see his name mentioned here. I thought they would have mentioned that if he was involved. But yeah, you'd kind of want him involved because I think, what was it? When they did Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, Melvin Van Peebles, that's the senior, Mary Van Peebles is the son, because the son played his role of his dad in that movie, which was kind of funny because it was about the making of the first black independent movie. And in my opinion, it's the greatest movie ever made about the making of a movie. Is Badass, if you ever get a chance to see it. And Adam West has a cameo in it. Remember Adam West from Batman?
Yeah. Yeah.
He plays some creeper Hollywood producer in it.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yes, because it takes place in the early 70s. But it was a good movie. But again, in that, you had the actual people behind the movie involved. And I'm sorry, I think Stallone has to be involved in this. And maybe even a short interview with him at the end of the movie explaining what he went through trying to get this made. But he had a falling out with the Rocky franchise, so that's probably not going to happen. So now I'm thinking, is this going to be respectful or is this a cash grab? I just don't know. That's what I'm worried about. That's my concerns, at least.
Well, we'll just have to see.
Alita Battle Angel. This is from a couple weeks ago. I missed this story, but I thought I'd bring it up again. Alita Battle Angel Star gives a long-awaited update on the sequel. It's been 5 years since Rosa Salazar first brought Alita to life on the big screen in Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron's Alita Battle Angel, and fans are still campaigning loudly for a sequel. During her appearance on Collider's Ladies' Night with Perry Nemiroff, Salazar made it clear that she's right there with them and that hope for Alita 2 is very much alive. I'm always bringing up Alita, Salazar admitted with a laugh before making the most tantalizing tease of all. It still might happen. The actress further leaned into the idea that the door remains open thanks in no small part to Cameron's ongoing involvement in the franchise. He's got the set. We'll have James Cameron just as soon as the next Avatar, she joked. Okay, so he's busy with Avatar. That's the problem. Salazar's enthusiasm matches the devotion of the Alita Army, the fan community that's kept momentum going since 2019. Me either, she said when Nemiroff confessed to wanting more sequels. I'm like, keep going. I'm one of those. I'm all the bots online doing that. For Salazar, the passion comes from her own love of the material and the collaborative spirit of the production. It's the best. I mean, it's just the best. You have James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez, who are friends, who are making this thing together. All the love is there. You have an amazing script. We have an amazing graphics team like WITA. You have thousands of people working on this thing, and it all comes down to this moment between two. It's just so amazing. I love collaborative process. And to be able to do it on that scale. Salazar also opened up about the responsibility of headlining massive studio film after roles in the Maze Runner franchise and Insurgent, validating for about 3 seconds, and then you're like, I'm so nervous, she recalled, but that didn't stop her from feeling that Alita was hers from the beginning. Yeah, so from the first moment I read the script, I'm like, I can do this, I can bring this home for you. I think that's just... I think it was the last final audition with Robert where I had the time and the space and the attention to really say, like, this is who I think she is, and I think he said, okay, she has a clear vision of who this person is, and it jives with mine. So from that moment, it was smooth sailing. Stay tuned for more updates on Alita Battle Angel's potential sequel. Until then, you can see Rosa Salazar in Mark Wahlberg's Play Dirty, which is currently #1 on Prime Video. And just so you know, Troy, it also doubles as a Christmas movie as it takes place at Christmas time.
Well, there you go.
Play Dirty is odd. I actually caught that a few weeks ago. It's a heist movie with Mark Wahlberg, and he plays this character named Parker. And I know I've seen Parker in other movies. I think I saw a Jason Statham movie about Parker. And I realized that this is a character. Apparently, this is some thief character from fiction, and they made movies based on him even in the 1970s. So this is like the latest in that series, and she's sort of like the femme fatale in this movie.
Interesting.
Okay, but Mark Wahlberg's the main character. It wasn't bad. It was a cool heist movie if you want something to watch during Christmas time. Okay, that's not really a Christmas movie, but and Tony Shalhoub is the villain in it, so that was interesting.
Oh, interesting,
yeah, so you might get a kick out of it. Yeah, but it was fun. I'll say that. So and it's funny. I didn't even recognize her at first. I'm like, why do I know this person? Because she didn't have all the CG on, you know.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh, that's Rosa Salazar. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that Parker. Yeah, apparently Parker goes back a ways. I need to do research on Parker adaptation movies because I know that Jason Statham was in that movie with Jennifer Lopez, and he was a character named Parker. I'm like, this is the same Parker. I realized that when I was watching except now you have Mark Wahlberg playing him. So yeah, I don't know. It was fun. Let's move on to Alita 2. Yes, we hope so. Sheena Easton.
Yeah, this one was kind of surprising. I don't know how newsworthy this was, but it was like, yeah, let's talk about this.
Remember, she's the only singer to show up in the Bond credit sequence as herself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You actually see her in the credit sequence for Free Rise Only.
Right.
Sheena Easton, 66, reveals why she stepped away from fame. Sheena Easton was one of pop music's biggest icons in the 1980s. The Scottish singer, 66, rose to fame with iconic songs like Morning Train, 9 to 5, Strut, and Sugar Walls. Also known for her association with Prince, the beloved music star was one of the most prominent hit makers of her day. But in a revealing new interview with the New York Times, Easton, who hasn't released a new album in 25 years, opened up why she prefers a life that's high on privacy. I'm not being shoved in people's faces anymore, which means I can lead a very normal life 99% of the time, she noted. Easton worked tirelessly through the 80s, turning out 9 studio albums and touring constantly between 1981 and 1988, the Times piece points out. She skyrocketed to superstardom, but always kept her head on straight in an era when chaos was typical. Yeah, but half that chaos was caused by Madonna, I'm sure, right? Okay. What got me through the craziness of those years was that my instinct was always to go towards normal things to stay as grounded as possible, she said. I felt like this is all wonderful fantasy, but I don't ever want to start believing it's real. By the early 90s, Easton realized she wanted children. She went on to adopt a son and a daughter. Well, good for her. She said the schedule worked out quite well because she did 8 shows a week for 2.5 years straight, and it worked out great because the kids would go to bed, and that's when I would go to work. Ha! Wow. Talk about keeping yourself busy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
However, she eventually realized she wanted out of the rat race, but there came a point where I thought I need to change my life at the risk of a horrible cliche. That's when I got off the merry-go-round. I didn't want to be in my 50s and 60s looking back thinking all I'll ever do was make records, get on a tour bus, do a bunch of TV, rinse and repeat. I want to do something more, she continued. At 66, Easton is happier than ever. Now I drive a Prius, she laughed, and I like my Prius. She says she isn't tempted by the extravagance of stardom and instead prefers to stay home and play video games. However, she still frequently performs. I'm open to different creative things, she added. What I'm not open to is the craziness, the almost compulsory nature of what you have to do as a pop star. I did that once. I don't need to do it again. The pop music legend is healthy and happy as she suns herself on the beach. All right. Well, this was interesting, I thought, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I have to say I was a huge fan, obviously, back in the day, and it does kind of make you wonder. Well, kind of what happened? Hey, if someone decides they want out, I gotta respect that. I really do. You know.
And you can still listen to her albums. I mean, you know.
Absolutely.
She had a recurring role in Miami Vice. Who did?
That's right, she did.
Oh, okay. Wow. Geek Flag was bringing that up. That's probably what I have to start doing is I'm going to have to start going back to 1980s television and watch
I know,
what
right?
I missed. I'm just saying. That was a movie that disappointed me, the Miami Vice movie they made with Colin Farrell. It had a good, I think it was Jamie Foxx in that too. It had a good cast. It just, I don't know. It didn't come together for me, but moving on.
Oh God, here we go.
Our final story of the night.
Ugh. Yeah.
I had to put this picture up here too.
Yeah.
This is, in my opinion, the scene that even the Doctor Who's steadfasters, the ones that wouldn't give up no matter what, and they're like,
right.
What are they doing?
Exactly.
This broke everybody, including the ones that used to yell at us over the Timeless Child. It's good writing. Stop. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Doctor Who Disney Plus exits partnership with BBC as 2026 Christmas special confirmed. The fate of Doctor Who has been revealed with Disney Plus officially exiting the series after its 2-season partnership with the BBC. After months of speculation as to where the long-running sci-fi show would be headed following Nakuta Gatwa's departure in May and without a season 3 renewal, the BBC has announced that it will be moving forward with a new Christmas special in 2026, penned by series stalwart Russell T Davies. We'd like to thank Disney Plus for being terrific global partners in collaboration over the past 2 seasons, and for the opening The War Between Land and the Sea. Lindsay Salt, director of drama at the BBC, said in a statement, "The BBC remains fully committed to Doctor Who, which continues to be one of our most loved dramas, and we are delighted that Russell T Davies has agreed to write us another spectacular Christmas special for 2026. We can assure fans the Doctor is not going anywhere, and we will be announcing plans for the next series in due course, which will ensure the TARDIS remains at the heart of the BBC. The War Between Land and the Sea, a Doctor Who spin-off starring Russell Tovey and Guga Mbatha Raw, is due on Disney Plus as well as BBC One and BBC iPlayer later this year. A brand new Doctor Who animated series is also in development at CBeebies, the BBC Kids channel. It remains to be seen who will be stepping into the iconic Doctor's shoes after Gatwa's 2-season stint. The season 2 finale saw Gotwa's Doctor regenerate into Billy Piper, who previously played companion Rose Tyler in Series 1 and Series 2, though it has not been confirmed if she will be the next Doctor. Said Tyler in a statement to the BBC after season 2 finale, "It's no secret how much I love this show, and I have always said I would love to return to the
Hooniverse.
Okay. As I have some of my best memories there, so to be given the opportunity to step back on that TARDIS one more time was just something I couldn't refuse. But who, how, why, and when, you'll just have to wait and see." So, I have predictions. You want to know the prediction for this Christmas special?
Yep, go for it.
David Tennant. They're going to have David Tennant in it. Because remember, there was a bi-regeneration, right?
Yep.
It could just be him hanging out with the Catherine Tate's family, her character family, and basically just it could be about that.
Oh, Donna Noble, yeah.
Donna Noble, yeah, that's right. Or it could be about the Doctor regenerating into Rose Tyler and her being Rose Tyler, and then David Tennant, Doctor Who, and then they reunite, and then ends with them going on adventures together, even though it makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh God, no.
You know that's what they're going to do.
There is
Am I predicting right?
There is possibly, but the problem is, you're actually trying to come up with a reasonable story. They're not. They're just throwing scripts into a blender and hitting what the fuck,
Well, here's the deal. If they don't want to touch on the whole Rose Tyler regeneration thing and just want to leave that blank, they can just do the bi-regenerated David Tennant Doctor, which they always thought they would bring back for guest appearances, right? And he could have an adventure and not have anything to do with this other, because nothing makes any sense anymore on Doctor Who.
No.
Because now you have two doctors, right, at the same time, right?
Yeah. Good luck with that, guys.
Well, at least they plucked her eyebrows.
Yeah, well, you got a point there. That's true. They did do something with her eyebrows. That's something.
So yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Doctor Who.
Say something.
Rest in peace, Doctor Who.
Say something else. Say something. Say there's hope.
No, there's no hope.
Well, there is. I mean, you can start your own Doctor Who role-playing game. You can, write fan fiction. You can go back and watch, decades of old Doctor Who, which we may do someday. But only the Christmas episode in 2026 is left. What? Yeah, that's just it. You're not even getting a series. You're getting one holiday special.
And it's not this year, it's next year.
Yep.
Next Christmas, not this Christmas, next Christmas.
That'll give them time to figure out what the F they're going to do.
They don't know what they have no money. They can't bring it back to the BBC. And they're not going to get any other interested parties in this. Disney was their last shot.
Yep.
It's over. Unless ITV takes it over.
Yeah,
and I would just assume,
after all these years, I can't imagine that.
I would just assume ITV bring back Primeval, but oh well.
Actually, the BBC can't afford for that to happen because they're still making money off of audio dramas and other marketing things related to it. So, yeah. No, I'm sorry. There's nothing else to say but rest in peace, Doctor Who. It's over. It's been over, and it's been a zombie property all this time. Now people are just starting to catch on.
Let's face facts. The new Who is dead.
Who is dead? Yeah, I know. I knew that.
People in the chat are talking about Gundam. I by the way, I remember we had brought up that article a while back about the alternate timeline UC Gundam series, and that doesn't sound like a bad idea. And then I was looking at the opening for it, and it didn't look like my cup of tea. I was not happy.
Yeah.
I don't need Gundam becoming sillier. I need it becoming more serious. Anyway, that's it for Geeky Geezers this week. Yay! We got to come up with more positive news stories, man.
We can only go with what's actually happening in the world.
I mean, we do the business side, which is neither good nor bad, right?
True. That is true. Well, good news is what we got coming up. We're gonna provide some entertainment that hopefully is good. Starting with tomorrow night for my members, all of you wonderful members. Got a lot of new members this week. So glad to have y'all here. So the poll is in. We will be watching Escape Room from 2019 tomorrow on Members Night at the Movies.
Cool, that's the one I picked.
I have not seen this movie. I don't know this
either.
movie. But I wanted to transition from Halloween into the Thanksgiving era with, there's a number of scary Thanksgiving or films set at Thanksgiving that I thought would be good. You guys chose. That is what we're going to be watching. But also, members, I already have, it's not a poll. I just have a post up on the community tab. You guys should have been notified about it. I'm asking for suggestions for next week. So go leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And in a couple days, if I have a couple of suggestions, I'll start a poll. And that's what we will watch the following week. Not to get too far ahead, but I already know what the movie will be for 2 weeks from tomorrow. But we'll talk about that another time.
Is that cheating?
No. Of course, Tuesday, live from Sparkwood in 21, we'll be watching a movie called Storyville, I believe it's called, with James Spader. It is a movie directed by Mark Frost. So the other side of the Lynch Frost coin.
You took my suggestion.
Yes, we did.
It's the only thing he ever directed, only movie he ever directed, and I thought, well, what the heck? We always do Lynch, but maybe we should do Storyville just to see Mark Frost's side of things.
That's a brilliant idea, so that's what we're doing.
I couldn't find anything else that really struck me as completely his, because he helped with a lot of shows, like Hill Street Blues and things like that, but
exactly,
this is all him, so maybe we'll see some Twin Peaks or Lynch-esque. We'll figure it out.
We'll see if we can see what his filmmaking qualities are.
Yes.
That you need to kind of overlay on David Lynch's to kind of get what they were together. That'll be followed by the final episode of Blake 7. Prepare yourselves, folks. It's an episode. It really is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the final episode of Blake 7. And
it's
that
probably good you're starting with Sherlock after that, because the Jeremy Brenner Sherlock. Jeremy Brett. Why am I saying Brenner? Anyway, Jeremy Renner. That's what I said. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. And then Thursday, Netters Network. Don't have a guest, do you?
I don't have a guest, but I am in the middle of editing the video I want to kind of like premiere, and then I'll be releasing it as a standalone. Hopefully I'll have it completely edited before then. We'll watch the vid there on Thursday Things, and then I'll release it as a standalone so you can watch it either way later. It's like, oh, I want to refer back to that. Oh, yeah, so you can either watch the standalone or go back to Thursday Things.
Yep. And
I do have a poll up on my channel for my members only night. You can choose between karaoke or a trivia night, and after we decide what we're gonna, that part of it, part 2 will be if we want to do this the week before Thanksgiving or the week after Thanksgiving. So you might want to kind of be thinking about that a little bit.
And then Friday, Boomer, we didn't talk about because you had a cut out early on last Friday. What are we going to do this Friday?
I don't know. I mean, I had it. Let me get back after the chat. Like, I had some ideas, but there's a couple of things we can do. But I want to talk to you about it behind the scenes, because I know I feel like we do these a lot, but we probably have at least one more AI stream in us for the new year if you're interested.
Okay.
Because apparently there was some guy that has created an AI servant.
It was just a matter of time, I'm sure.
No, there's more to it than that. Anyway, I'm not going to say it's so bad.
Saturday night at the movies, over on Big Al Presents, Lethal Weapon 2. Lethal Weapon 2, looking forward to that.
Lethal Weapon 2. Cool.
And that'll bring us around to next week. So if you're here on my channel or on Netter's channel, don't go anywhere. We're going to send you over to Deleted Scenes for reserved seats. I believe he's sitting down with Big Al Presents tonight.
Yes, and the tie has been broken. Right now it's 60% trivia night and 40% karaoke. So you still have time to get your vote in as a member of my channel.
And
so
speaking of memberships, I want to thank our members so much. You really, really are the lifeblood of our channels. Please consider, if you're not a member, please consider becoming a member. A lot of great benefits for membership, not least of which allowing us to continue to do what we do. And but if you can't subscribe, if you can't become a member, that's okay. It costs nothing to hit the like button, share out the streams, and subscribe.
And leave a comment too, especially if you're listening to this after the fact. Yeah,
we'd especially love to know what you guys are thinking. That kind of feedback is also incredibly valuable. It whether you realize it or not, it's going to help us make better stuff going forward. And that's all I got, Boomer.
All right, I think that wraps it up. Like I said, if you're on Troy's side of if you're on Troy and Eddie, you should be redirected over to Deleted Scenes, but you should be subscribed to him anyway, because he puts out great stuff. And check out Reserved Seats with our good friend Big Al. That'll be a nice interview. All right, I'll catch y'all later.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Night.